ESPN's Jake Trotter with who he believes is the favorite to be the Browns' next head coach.
I mean, I think we're looking at Schwartz or one of the up-and-coming offensive guys, whether it's Shieldhouse or somebody else.
You don't think McDaniel?
That would surprise me.
I wouldn't surprise me.
People keep saying it's happening, but
the way that I look at it is being inside that building. They don't think that there is a culture problem in that building. So what are they looking at? They're looking at offense, and they think that Mike McDaniel is the best offensive mind in this coaching search.
Well, here's what I think. Schwartz is probably he would be my choice. We'll say that.
Yeah.
I can understand you would want the thought for a young offensive mind is then when you get the quarterback, you don't have to worry about offensive coordinator who's developed him being poached. I just think this coaching job should be measured in dog years in the NFL. One of these is worth 7 somewhere else.
Yeah, that's really well said. I think what Jake sort of laid out there probably makes the most sense when it comes to where they're kind of leaning. And here's the thing, like, I think Jim Schwartz is a great candidate for the job. I think he probably is in their minds near the top of the list of guys who should maybe get it. You know, I was talking to I know you guys have Lance Reisland on a lot too, and he made a comment to me that no matter what, the Browns defense is going to get a little bit worse from the Kevin Stefanski firing decision, because if with Kevin gone, like, Jim's either going to also be gone because a new coach is going to come in and want to like hire his own people, or if Jim gets the job, he's being taken away from the defensive side of things where he's not solely focused on that if he becomes the head coach and he's more of like the CEO. So no, it might be, you know, small variance. It might not be massively different, but like it's going to impact that side of the ball to a degree. I honestly think like if the Browns are really that stuck on keeping Jim Schwartz around, it probably makes the most sense to hire one of these young up and coming offensive coordinators, because that guy might decide, hey, I'm new at this. I'm super young. It'll be nice to have somebody who's a vet in this league as a defensive coordinator who can just kind of handle that side of the ball, and I don't have to think much about it, and it can kind of be like plug and play in that way. And so maybe that guy would be more inclined to keep Jim Schwartz around. It's a fascinating sort of thought process on all this, and that's one of the biggest things that is, I think, impacting the decision right now is what's going to happen with Jim Schwartz. We've seen the reports that they're at least asking coaches about Jim Schwartz as a defense coordinator when these candidates have come in for interviews. So I think if you're trying to keep Jim Schwartz, I think the easiest outcomes are you promote him or you get one of these young guys that's more willing to keep him. I also think too, though, like if you hire Jim Schwartz, is it far enough removed from, because if you fire Kevin Stefanski, aren't you sort of trying to change at least somewhat like the voice in around the team and like the I don't know, like the thinking around, like is it too close to home almost? Like what was the point of firing Kevin Stefanski if you're just going to like rehire all his assistant coaches in new roles and just like promote everybody? Like that doesn't really add up for me. So I do think like the path of least resistance almost is like hire a young coordinator and hope that he'll keep Jim Schwartz on staff, but we'll see. But yeah, I too subscribe to the idea that maybe I lean a little bit that an offensive-minded coach probably is the best bet, because it allows you to pair that coach with a potential future quarterback at some point for years to come, and you don't have to worry about losing them. But, you know, I also look around the league and, like, look at the playoffs right now. Look how many coaches are defensive-minded coaches who are in the division round of the playoffs. Mike Vrabel, Mike McDonald, Sean McDermott. So it can be done, but it's obviously it's a little easier if you have that offensive mind kind of already in place as your head coach.
Well, the other thing I would say is I think Jim Schwartz, head coach, is a little different demeanor than Jim Schwartz, defensive coordinator. He deferred to Kevin Stefanski.
For sure.
I know enough about him to know there's an edge to him that has not come out publicly that I think you'd see.